a long way. You don't know the impact that is or has on the community, those who are working there, and of course, those who are beneficiaries of the work of those of that GPV team. So I just thought I must highlight, and the good work must be commended. So however you got it done, but thanks for getting it done. It's a year, but that year means a lot for a whole range of families in the community where the GPV team works, and the good relations that they share with police stations, or they have rather, with police stations is also commendable. So thanks for that, Amas. I thought I should mention that on their behalf. I'm not in the team, but yeah, we get reports and feedback from them, so it's quite exciting when they report such things. So I'm using this platform to say that on their behalf. Ndate Manaman, you don't have anything to comment on, maybe? The sharp presentation before Retsana Moyale.
Not for now, Chair, as will be presented. I think we'll be complementing to what they have said.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Ke kopa dipotsiso, comments, and so on. Okay. Ke tla qala ka mo. Ke tla kopa le tle mo pele so that re ska ba le tlhakatlhakano. Abuti, my brother, please come forth. 2, please. 3, please come through, the 3 of you. Then 4, please come to the 4th as well. Then I'll come this side. Please, my brother, please come this side as well. Do you have a mic? Are they able to? Roving mics, or naimva kwako? Or this one? To release these ones. Those ones, when they're finished.
carrying our kids from Jovejo to Steve Biko. And this is very sad, Premier, that Jovejo, District 10, it's like a by the way community in Orange Farm. Because even SAPS itself, it's not servicing us. On Tuesday, May 26, we as a community leaders, we apprehended a suspect, Oshaye umama ngepanga, ebusweni. Now, they know, I've reported that to them. But I reported that because we waited for 5 hours for the police to come. I had to drive to the police station to actually verify what went until Colonel Mufokeng had to call, and then the call came from the top going down up to Brigadier Manamela, even engaged with me. But that is not what should happen, Premier. That's not what should happen, Brigadier. Your staff that are working at the CSC needs to take their job very serious. They're arrogant, and they go as far as their arrogance in servicing us, HOVIJO. It's very appalling because they even refuse to issue out with names. Zoguta Bobai. When I arrived Lapane CSC, they took out their name badges. Those ladies about answer my phone. So you need to look into that, the Brigadier. It's nothing emotional. We just want service for our people in District 10. And then the last point that I want to make, it's under the slide number 13. The performance act, the performance HOD. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that a CFO would stand here and tell us and say young people or businesses owned by young people, the target was 0. That is embarrassing, CFO. If I was the HOD and CFO, I would have found a better way to put that thing here. Not saying, I will read it out. Performance procurement spent on youth-owned businesses. Achievement 0. Against a target of 30%. Premier, when you came, you saw how many young people are out there. You know, chances are some of those young people there, they might have companies, you know, but what mechanism do you have, HOD, under community safety, to harness and find these young people that are owning businesses, and then you empower them? You can't have a 30% target to empower young people, and then you come and tell us that 0% target. That is embarrassing, CFO. That is very, very embarrassing. So now, in my conclusion, it further says the department has identified a list of commodities and services to maybe this youth. When is this intervention going to be implemented? Because Sfungas, the youth from here in Orange Farm, how and when are they going to be considered with this list of commodities and services you are going to prioritize? And it needs to be prioritized. So Sfungas, when is that going to be happening? Thank you very much.
Thank you. In responses, I'll start with you, colleagues. I'll start from here, then we'll go that way to the table. Premier will be the last. Oh, you want to be the first? Oh, okay.
Sanibonani bahlali base Orange Farm. Ngithanda ukunibulisa. Ngibonge ukuthi nibe la. Chair, thank you so much, and members truly appreciate the invite and the need for us to be here. I want to start with those that I can answer, Chair, so that the HOD can deal with the difficult ones. Because majority of these things is because of their leadership in the department. Member Moody, I want to start with the issue of 30 days. It's indeed a problem that we've elevated to national government. It is not an issue that we can't pay within 30 days. The problem is that National Treasury give us a certain portion of cash for a certain period. I'm glad that MEC, former MEC, he knows this problem, has been fighting it for years. You might find that we've got invoices of 80 million, but National Treasury will give you 50 million as amount of money that you need to use. We might have 80 million in our budget, but if you have cash that is allocated to you is 50 million, you have to prioritize who do you pay, who don't pay, and it affects the 30 days. So that is why we are working extremely hard with national government, that they need to expand the payment, the cash availability for departments to make payments. But the second thing as well, which is something that we've raised with National Treasury, is that when it goes towards the financial year end, they cut the days of payment as well. And you find that you can't pay the way you've been paying normally. You might find that within a week, they've got either 2 payment cycles or 2 payment days, and it affects many things. So we're attending to that issue. I can assure you, I'm not happy, but at least relieved that the department achieved 87% in terms of payment of 30 days. We are pushing all government departments in the province. It's only 2 departments that we are struggling with, which is health and roads, such extent education as well. We are pushing that invoice must no longer be paid within 30 days, but must be paid within 15 days. And that's the part that we want to push to solve this matter. I agree with, it's Pule. I agree with him. The issue of not doing business with the young people or women and people with disability is an embarrassment that can't be defended. What we are doing now, we are changing the performance contract of HODs. We are now explicitly putting this in the performance contract. Any HOD that can perform in giving business to young people or women or people with disability, they are not going to get their performance bonus, but their contracts are not going to be renewed as well. As part of our attention to ensure that we give dedication to this work, and I agree with what Johannes said. It's embarrassing, and I don't want to justify it, purely because there are a lot of businesses. But the other issue, Chair, is that some of the young people that have businesses have lost hope on government. They feel that these things are already designed for other people. Even if they can put their proposal, their businesses, they're not going to get work. So why bother do that? And that aspect as well needs to be rectified. Because we can't have young people that are discouraged in their own country with their own government. So we're working very hard to rectify that element as well. The other issue, member, soon that we have raised, and I agree with you, you know, kidnappings, we're the capital city of kidnappings. Of the 10 national municipalities, 10 national police stations that are in the national statistics that were released, of the 10 police stations with the highest number of kidnappings, 8 of them are found in Gauteng. So it's extremely embarrassing, but we are working together with the law enforcement agencies to deal with this. What I can tell you, we broke the backbone of 3 syndicates. And also there are 8 people, as I'm speaking to you now, they were the kingpins, of kidnappings. 8 of them have rejoined God up there because the police have actioned. So we've eliminated 8 of the syndicates that are dealing with this problem. But the problem remains a worrisome. And I'll be the first one to admit that we need to deal with this matter. Members, we have not, from the province point of view, budgeted for the South African Defence Force to be in our province. And I don't think that we have even allocated the budget for that. What we have done, we've asked the president to bring the army. The president has agreed. The army is here. We really believe that even though the army is focusing on Zamazamas, they must also focus on organized crime in our province, so that it's not only the problem of Zamazamas that we're dealing with. So from the budget point of view, we're relying on national resources, and we really believe those are the national resources that will assist us. I will leave the training of the wardens to the HOD. He knows why, because I've been pressurizing them on this issue. Which is the matter that was raised by, if I got the name right, Lihlohonolo. And I'm glad that it's not me, it's Member Soon who comes from the Democratic Alliance. That the crime stats in our province are going down. But the problem is that the numbers are still high. They might be going down, but the numbers are still high. But for something to start to go down, it means that there was a form of intervention. And we really believe that the interventions that we've made as the provincial government has assisted us. And this intervention cut across. This province is the only province nationally that have bought 3 helicopters for the police. There's no other province that have done that. And if you can check the number of cash highs, the number of robberies that we have stopped utilizing the helicopters, you can see that is an investment that we've made. We are the only province now, we are running 18,000 CCTV cameras. Unlike before, when some people commit crimes, we didn't know what happened. Now we can see some of the crime taking place, and we can be in a position to stop that crime. So we are utilizing various resources. And someone might say, you are focusing on patrollers, you are not focusing on CPFs, you are not focusing, or you are focusing on traffic wardens, you are not focusing on school patrollers. That analysis is wrong. We are focusing on everyone. The only problem is that we need to move with speed to support everyone. And that's an area that I've given to the team. We are attending the issue of the CPFs, you are raising it with us. It's a misplaced argument, because the CPFs are hired by SAPS. They're not even reporting to us. Our weakness as a province is that we are supporting them with uniforms, we are supporting them with all other things. We'll continue to provide that support. It might not be enough, but we'll continue to provide that support. But they don't account to us as a provincial government. But we are also saying, colleagues, which is something that we are working around the clock. You can't intervene on volunteerism on a piecemeal, because SGBs in our schools, if you start to pay CPF, SGBs will also want to be paid. If you start to pay what you call board members in hospitals, you will also have somebody who say, I'm a patroller, I need to be paid this amount of money. So we are reviewing the remuneration of all these institutions so that we can make an intervention that can assist everyone. And this is the area that I want to assure you that we are attending to. There's another one that said that, and I think it was Ntsele, that they can't find policemen in this area. I'm leaving that part to the police. They're going to make a presentation on this aspect. And Tate Matenjwa raised the issue of vehicles and the people that are dying in prison. I'm also leaving it to the law enforcement agencies, that they will be in a position to deal with these things. Johannes, you know, I appreciate people that makes input, but sometimes it becomes difficult to blame government on something that government has not done. Johannes says that we have not funded their institution. He gave us a certificate or a recognition of registration. And Johannes exclusive mediators was only registered in 2024. So it will be extremely difficult to blame us that we have not funded you when we've just registered. Now that you are registered, bring your application to the Department of Social Development. That's the department that deals with funding. We are the only province in the country that budget 2.4 billion on NGOs. The nearest is 1 billion is Western Cape also. We give 2.4 billion to NGOs in this province. So now that you are properly registered, go to the Department of Social Development website, fill the forms. We will be in a position to give you support if you qualify. But I can see from the work that you do, you indeed qualify. Colleagues, I really, and I want to clarify this because Lehlohonolo raised it as if it's a big problem. And it's very unfortunate that people will raise it that way. And I hope Lehlohonolo will take it like a man, like I take his criticism to me. The issue of wardens in this province, it was not only to fight crime, but was also to end unemployment in young people. You can't, in a country where young people are unemployed and young people are involved in crime, and not use them to assist us to fight crime. Unfortunately, some of these wardens are also behaving in a manner that is unbecoming. And it's natural because sometimes people behave in that fashion when they work with people that either are corrupting them. But you are acting on them. Almost 300 of them have been removed purely because society reports. So I'm urging society of Orange Farm, if the wardens that we've deployed in Orange Farm are not doing their work, tell us who is that person, we'll remove them. Because there are many other young people that want to join so that they can assist us to fight crime. We can't keep people who are lazy. We can't keep people that are not working. We can't keep people that are not assisting the community. And that's the approach that I want to live with Lehlohonolo. But you can't say replace these ones with the other ones. We don't want to replace. We want to strengthen, we want to support, and we want to ensure that the communities are safe, and we want to get as many young people as possible. And I know when I speak about young people to be in the wardens, laba above 40 years, nabazongkhalela, uthi panyazi, nathi siyaphila, nathi siyabantu. So that is why we are starting to reduce this thing of youth. Let's hire anyone that is unemployed and that is capable to deal that is capable to assist us to fight crime in our province. The last one, Chair, I'm glad to have raised it. The issue of GBV, it's very important to the department. We are of the strong view that there must be no woman or a child that is scared to walk our streets because they will be attacked. And also, we want to send a very strong message to all the men amadoda abobaba. Mawuporekile poreka somewhere uyekela bomama bethu nabantwana bethu. Poreka somewhere yakuntanga zakho. And women are meant to be loved, not to be killed. So, as this province will not tolerate any men that think they've got the birthright to attack our women, and will put all the necessary systems to ensure that we stop that tendency. And that's the reason why we've got the GBV brigades that are assisting us on this aspect. But Abantu Base Orange Farm, we know your challenges. There are 5 challenges that, as this government, that I have the honor to lead, that we are working on. High on the agenda to rectify issues here in Orange Farm is unemployment of people in this area. We are prioritizing it. You will see, we'll make announcement to ensure that we deal with the issue of unemployment. The second issue, which is very high, is this issue that we're dealing with of crime. That people are being attacked in their own homes, and we are putting up the necessary system and technologies to assist us to deal with that issue. The third issue, Kiditsila Tsamo Orange Farm. The roads are bad here, extremely bad. So we are also attending to that issue with the municipality. We push the municipality, those that were listening to the budget of the municipality 2 days ago. You will see that we have increased the budget of roads. We have also increased the budget of maintenance because it's very important that we deal with those issues. The fourth issue is the issue of housing. That also we need to attend to it to ensure that we accelerate the availability of housing. And the last one is what you call township businesses. To take businesses from these foreigners and convert them to be businesses of our own people. We are moving ahead with that aspect to deal with those issues. So those are the 5 issues that we want to attend to them immediately to people of Orange Farm. And I want to leave it here, Chair. I will leave it with and I'll leave it with the HOD to deal with all the difficult questions that have been raised. And if you don't mind, Chair, because unfortunately I have to go to the council meeting. We want to change one of the mayors in these municipalities, and I have to go there. Thank you so much, Chair. Thanks for your time. Ke a leboha batho ba Orange Farm.
Thank you, Premier, for making the time. I requested also to be excused, so it shouldn't be seen as a coincidence. I'm not removing him, I'm going somewhere else. HOT, you can continue.
No, thanks, Chair. I will request to address you sitting so that I don't
Yes,
get...
can we request your attention, Bandasa? We request your attention so that HOD continues from where the Premier left off. Sikwazi uthola impendulo zethu. Njengoba sibuzile. Thank you. HOD?
No, thanks, Chair. I'm told I must stand up. So.
Okay, it's fine.
No, thank you very much, Chair. Let me start off with what Member Moody raised, just to cascade the response down to the province. What the Premier indicated was the challenge as it relates to the province versus national. What we are dealing with is exactly the same problem at the provincial level. Now, what compounds the problem is the level of indebtedness that we are, or the lack of cash availability, its impact on our ability to repay our debts. So it's a situation of reprioritizing on a monthly basis who to pay and who not to pay. So the issue around the 30-day payment is purely related to lack of cash availability. If you look at the level of accruals that we had in the previous financial year, you will realize that we almost halved, if we haven't, the level of accruals that we're currently sitting on. And it's because of the deliberate interventions that we put in that space. We have an intention that by the end of the current financial year, we would have wiped off the accrual, so at least we would have made serious dent in terms of the level of the accruals that we have. And we're doing several things in that space. The first one is what we came to the portfolio committee and reported, that we are reviewing all of the contracts that we have to check 2 things. Are they still viable? Are these services that we need? But secondly, can we afford them? So we've done that work. And the result of that work tells us that as we work towards the end of the current financial year, we should have done a significant impact on the accruals that we have. So you will see as the quarters go, when we continue to report in terms of the accruals, that we are going to reduce them. There are decisions that we have taken, for instance, that there are contracts that we are not going to renew. And we will be taking the savings that we are realizing from the non-renewal of those contracts to fund the accruals. One of the things that we are also doing to deal with the accruals is that we are chasing government entities that owe us. You would have realized that we have got receivables of just over 80 million. And the huge chunk of those receivables is debt that is owed to the department by SANRAL. We've gone into an engagement with SANRAL. They've committed that they will pay back the debt that they owe us. What that will do is that it will make us, it will give us the ability to go and service both the debt but the accruals that we have. Members, I might not have the exact number of operations that the Air Wing conducted, but as the Premier indicated, we've done a significant amount of operations that have assisted us to deal in the main with cash heist operations in the province. Through the MOU that we have with the DPCI. We went out on tender to renew the current, or rather to renew the contract of the helicopters that we are using. Unfortunately, that tender became non-responsive. So we have cancelled it. We are now in the process of going out again to ensure that we have those services of the helicopter going forward. The monies that you see on the SANDF were payments for training for the traffic wardens. So it was settlement of the debt that we had with SANDF. And our ability to service that debt was as a result of additional budget that we got during the adjustment process. So we took a chunk of the money that we got during the adjustment process in the previous financial year to settle the Defence Force budget. The 81%, 19% split is a difficult one because as a province we took a decision that we needed to invest in the fight against crime. The net result on that is that it has then expanded the organizational structure that we currently sit in. So which is why you see we're sitting at 81%. We're in the process of reviewing our organizational structure to try and finalize that aspect of the work. But we can't take, and I'm sure it will be career limiting for me to argue that, can't take a decision that we're going to retrench, but we're going to find synergies and trying to extract productivity out of those that are currently employed. Of course, in our review process, if we find that there are redundant posts, there are posts that we can live without, we will then abolish those and not carry on with them. The 65 million rand for training that you saw there, it's the current allocation. So it's not expenditure that realized in the previous financial year, but it's the current allocation that we have for training. I will not go into the patroller issue. I think the Premier has sufficiently raised that, but safe to say that there's a national conversation around community policing. That seeks to resolve all of these issues, and we're making a contribution into that conversation. The minister is leading. The Minister of Police is leading into that debate that will seek to resolve all of the challenges that we are facing, so that we are not seen as a government to have focused on one area to the exclusion of the other. There was a question around Steve Biko. I think the issue around unroadworthy buses, this is what we did at the beginning of the school calendar year. we were deliberate in not school safety, but road safety interventions that we undertook. By the time we got the accident, the unfortunate accident in the Val, we were probably on the 12th or 13th day of our operations, specifically targeting road safety linked to scholar transport. In fact, in October of 2025, we wrote to the Department of Education and said we intend to do road safety operations that are specifically linked to scholar transport. Communicate with your service providers. We want to make sure that we test them. The problem that we encountered was that we don't have sufficient testing stations in the province. It's a conversation that we're having with Roads and Transport. The MEC of Roads and Transport has made a concession that they will look into a process of defraying expenses linked to testing of the buses as a department, but we are waiting for finalization on that score. And as soon as that comes, we will then fast track that, which will deal with the Steve Biko bus situation. Yes, we are seeing, and it's interesting that over the weekend, JMPD indicated that they are changing tactic insofar as dealing with unroadworthy vehicles. So instead of issuing notices or impounding, they insist that the vehicle be repaired on the spot. The only time that that vehicle will then move is when it's now in their assessment roadworthy. They will only impound those that would not be able to be fixed on the road. So it's an interesting take that they are taking insofar as vehicle roadworthy, but it's something that we will certainly look into. The last issue around this, the youth and so on, I think the Premier dealt with it, but I just want to address the technical issues linked to that. Because we don't have sufficient cash availability in our budget, we are unable to commit procurement resources and by extension pay for those services. So even if we would have set ourselves targets to procure from specific groups, we do not have the ability to pay for those services. So we don't want to go and commit because it's illegal. We don't want to go and commit for services that we will not have cash to pay for. That's why we are performing badly. It's not only on the youth, but it's on the specific groups. To mitigate against that, we then went into our commitment and said, for every single provider that we owe, who is part of who belongs in these specific groups, so that we can prioritize them and pay them, so that at least we are able to service these communities. It's work that we have done. In the report that we took to the portfolio committee in Q3, you would have seen a slight increase in terms of our performance with regards to those specific groups. So it's work that is continuing, but we are committing in this current financial year. It's work that we did 2 days ago, that all the services that we are paying for, we have a list of commodities that we have identified that are specifically ring-fenced for those specific groups. So certainly in Q1, we will see that change. I think I would have dealt with the bulk of the questions, Chair. If there are any that are outstanding, colleagues will add. Thanks.
Thank you, HOD. Just before you continue, please, Member Son just has a follow-up question for you, please. Please go for it. Member Son?
Thank you, Acting Chair. HOD, if I could have a follow-up on the helicopter. And I hear that is the current lease agreement for the helicopter expired? That's why you're going out on a new tender. Is my understanding correct?
That's correct. In fact, we cancelled that tender. As a department, we took a decision to cancel the tender because it had irregularities. So we cancelled it. Yeah.
Thank you. You can proceed, sir.
No, thank you, Chair. I think we are done from our.
Are you done? Thank you. That brings us to the next part of our agenda, and that is the Orange Farm Police Station's fourth quarterly crime review or overview for the 2025-26 financial year. Brigadier, do we hand over to you? Is that your responsibility? Can the community please, can we settle down? Thank you. Thank you. We're here to serve you. And therefore, we'd like, for the relationship to remain very conducive for us to be able to do just that. We are here as your servants. We are not here as your superiors, not at all. SAPS, we as politicians and as public servants, we are here to serve you as a community of Orange Farm and of South Africa at large. I'll now hand over to you, Brigadier. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to present crime for Orange Farm. I think this is what the community is waiting to hear from Orange Farm as to what Orange Farm management has done so far. Chair, on the presentation there, I'm going to summarize so that I must not be too long. But when you look at page 2 there, it's a presentation overview that talks to the station principal map, general profile, sector breakdown, infrastructure, stakeholders, human resource, force multipliers, vehicle fleet management, and crime overview, data integrity, crime hotspots, case management, Houghton 5-year integrated policing plan, intervention to address crime, challenges, stroke inhibiting factors, and recommendations. So I'll go to slide number 4. Slide number 4 shows the sectors in Orange Farm. Sector 1, the bottom right, which is Sector 1, that is in red. We are sharing the borders with DDR and Everton. Sector 2 in yellow, which is the middle one, we're sharing the borders with DDR. And Sector 3 in purple, we are sharing the borders with Everton. And Sector 4 in blue borders, we are sharing the border with DDR, Everton, and Annandale. And then the last one is slide 5, which is Sector 5, which is Porky urban area in yellow there, but you can see surrounded by blue, which indicates the farms in the same area, which is one sector. Our borders is Sebokeng, Annandale, and the Western area. Chairperson, our population, the size of the area for Orange Farm is 263 square kilometer, and population as per start mid-year 2025 is 288,122. That is the population. Unemployment rate is stand at 65%. Number of sectors is indicated as 5. Number of vacant land areas So far, we got 67. We are left with what, 5? We're still waiting for the councillor to update us on that. But currently, we got 67. Station classification is urban, rural mix. So it's urban and rural. I call Orange Farm the suburb. There's no suburb like Orange Farm. Number of municipal wards is 7 because we are sharing one ward with Enedale. Position in Gauteng in terms of crime weight, we are number 46 out of 145 stations. So for station profile, we got 5 sectors. Sector 1 is Sector Mutsapi, Sector 2 is Sergeant Bavuma, Sector 3 is Constable Simelani, Sector 4 is Sergeant Mokwena, and Sector 5 is Sergeant Mbongwan. Our station profile, I'll just read where there's numbers. We got 52 schools in Orange Farm, and we got 9 clinics, 11 surgeries for the doctors, and we got 51 churches. On consumption, which is taverns, we got 240, and off consumption, those are bottle stores, we got 16, and then we got number of illegal liquor outlets closed or have been closed is 14. Spaza shops in our area is 252, taxi ranks is 7, and then we got 2 train stations and also 42 scrap metal dealers that include the recyclers, because scrap dealers, the scrap metal dealers, they also operate as recyclers. Our stakeholders is Department of Home Affairs, CPF and Community Patrollers, SANCO, Gauteng Traffic Wardens, Department of Social Development, faith-based organizations, Parliamentary Constituency Office, Lifeline. We also got Gauteng Traffic, Johannes Metro Police Department. We got security companies, about 5 of them. We got Department of Community Safety. We got Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. We got Department of Correctional Services, local media, Lekwa FM, VUT FM, CDBing FM, Teta FM, CDBing Star, Orange Farm News. For human resource, for the station in visible policing in uniform, we are at 90.57%. And then detectives, we are at 97.67%. And then support services, we are at 113.51%. It means we got extra 1 or 2 above the normal one. But we had 11 trainees that were allocated to Orange Farm for 2024-2025 financial years. For force multipliers, we are working together with Gauteng Traffic Wardens, which we are allocated with 51 with 3 vehicles. Metro Police Department, which is JMPD, we had 2 with 1 vehicle, but I spoke to the superintendent. Now they allocated 7 vehicles with 14 members in our area. That shows an improvement. We also got provincial traffic, where we got 7 members with 2 vehicles. Siabangena, I think this is a typing error here. Siabangena, we got 12 for Orange Farm, and then Community Police Forum is 6, and then the patrollers in Orange Farm is 650. The patrollers in Orange Farm is 650. Station profile for deployment of vehicles. For visible policing, we are at 90.47%. We got only 3 cars that are in the garage. Operational is 14 vehicles. For detectives, we are at 105%. We got 2 vehicles in the garage, and then 18 of them are operational. Support services, we got 83.33%, and then in the garage is 0, which is 5 of them are operating. So the total granted actual vehicles is at 95.65. So only 5 vehicles in the garage, and 37 of them are operating. Deployment of vehicles, visible policing, we are granted 30, but the actual is 22. That is what we got physically. And then we have a shortage of 8 in the visible environment, as I indicated, 3 in the garage, 5 boarded, and 14 operational. Detective, we are granted 24. Currently, we got 21, which means we are running short of 3 vehicles. And for support services, we are granted 5. and we got 5, so there's no shortage in a support environment. So the slide number 15, it shows the vehicles that are in the garage and the type of the mechanical problem that they got. The first one there for Vispol, we can see, he said Vereeniging Garage, which is police garage, for 70 days for the problem of clash. And the other one, which is the longest there, is for detective, which is BWN 890, went to the garage at Johannesburg for 21 days. Those are the 2 longest vehicles in the garage. Station type of vehicle that were allocated, active vehicles that include the sedans, hatchbacks, minibus, LDVs, vans, and panel vans is 41 in all. We don't have trailers, we don't have motorcycles, but we also got the mobile CSC and the 2 trucks that we utilized to convey the prisoners to court. The station profile for vehicle fleet for financial 2024-2025, Vispol Policing received 5 vehicles, new vehicles, and detectives received 1 vehicle, support received 1 vehicle. In total, the vehicle received for financial year 2024-2025 was 7 vehicles. For 2025-2026, we received 4 vehicles, which comprise of 3 from Vispol Policing, Detective Services 1. Those are the categories of crime. I'm gonna jump that one, go to the core matter, which is the crime itself. If you can check, the Orange Farm always had a problem of murders, but you can see there's a decrease in murder. But remember, I used to say all the time, although there's a decrease in murders, like the Premier was saying, the volumes are still very high because behind every number is a human being. But I'll just talk to the rate. So currently, for the last financial year, as the state has been released, Orange Farm is having a problem according to the state here, attempted murder, which was a problem, and followed by assault with the assault GBH. And also we had a problem of sexual assault, and then also we had a problem of robbery at residential premises. And we also had a problem of truck hijacking. When you go down there on slide 21, you'll see that we got a problem of theft, not mentioned elsewhere, just it's general theft. And we also got a commercial crime. Those are the frauds and the shoplifting that we had a challenge in Orange Farm. Illegal possession of firearm also was a problem. That is in terms of the achievement. As we can see, it's -4. It means we didn't reach the target. But I'll come back to that. I'll explain that. Driving under the influence of alcohol, also we ran short of 24 cases for the financial year. And then crime detected as a result of police action on slide 21, we ran short of 8, which made an decrease of -2.6%, which means we didn't do well. If you check on the crime state that was released for the 4th quarter, Orange Farm is having a problem of truck hijacking, like the Premier was saying, the kidnapping. Because even though the hijacking, the general hijacking is green, it shows reduction. But remember, every hijacking goes with a human being. As long as the movement, the freedom of movement of a person has been infringed, that falls under kidnapping. As a result, you'll see we are red also on kidnapping. That includes the kidnapping that were done under normal hijackings and the one that were done under what you call truck hijackings. Those are the problems. And also the other problem, if you check on the crime state released, Orange Farm was having a problem of assault GBH. Chairperson, people here in Orange Farm, they are fighting a lot. And most of the cases that are reported are domestic related cases. You'll see when I come to SAP 6, how many dockets have been withdrawn before they can even go to court, which is a big challenge in Orange Farm. And the other crime that I remember, yes, truck hijacking, I mentioned it, assault GBH, and the house robberies. There's one of the community member here who raised the issue of robberies at night, robbery residentials. It's true, we are having a challenge of robbery residentials that happens at night. Those are the crimes that we had a problem for the financial year, in summary. So, when we look at the causative factors of this, we found that for crime against women over the 18 years and above, 2 of them were created during the other commission of the other crimes like house robberies. And then when you look at the children or boys and girls over 17 years, and girls 17 years and below, for 2 of them, we don't know what was the cause, But for the men for 18 years and above, we also 15 of them, we don't know what was the causative or cause, but we found that one of the cases reported was during the commission of the other crime. The other one that is worrying me a lot, the chairperson, is that three that you see under vigilantism. At least today I managed to, to pronounce the word. It's a problem. What the community normally call mob justice, there's no such a thing called mob justice. And then two of them was emanated from the argument, just normal argument. Sometimes people, they fight for small things like food, which is very, very frustrating. And they end up fighting. And then for gender, age unknown, or not specified there, at least is 0. But the total of the crime committed whereby we don't know the cause is 17, yes. But for house robbery, we can see there on the first one for women, about 17 incidences. That's where women were victims, and we got 17 entries for that, or entry or incidents that happened there. And then for men 18 years and above, also we had 19 of forced entries. That's why they rob, they break the butler or the window, then they get into the house by force and take whatever they take from the houses. For rape, we see there for women for 18 years and above, it's an opportunistic one. Normally what happens here, Chairperson, is that when our sisters and our mothers, and they come from the places of entertainment, that's where they become victims, because most of the time we find that they are under the influence, they can't even recognize what happened. That's the problem. The three of them, there we can see they were committed during the commission of the other crime, and then 5 of them is domestic related crime. Children and boys for 17 years and below, we got 1 which is opportunistic, and then 2 of them is domestic related. I will just talk to the problematic time. The problematic time, if you check overall crime of Orange Farm, is start from 9 o'clock, which is 2100 hours, to 4 o'clock in the morning. The days of the week that are of a problem is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are the days where we encounter a lot of problems. That's why our operations mostly are focused on those days. I'm gonna jump to slide number 27, where it shows the hotspots. The suburbs that are of a problem is Extension 1, Extension 4, and Lakeside Extension 2, followed by Extension 2 for hijacking, Extension 7 and 8B. Extension 9, 7A, and 6A also, the hijacking and burglaries are also a problem there. 3, 5, and 10. Robberies and burglary residential are also a problem there. Porky and N1 freeway, Chairperson, is a problem there, especially with hijacking. Now we are encountering a lot of truck hijackings there. But what we did there, we deployed members there with intelligence. We got about 2 cars that are concentrating on N1, R28, and Golden Highway. And now we are working together with JMPD to ensure that those roads are patrolled for 24/7, but on a flexi basis to ensure that at least we minimize the crime that is happening there. Now we come to SAP 6, as I alluded before. If you check there, you check column, column 1. Column 1 is the reported cases. If you check the volume of the cases that are reported in Orange Farm per month, is on the average of 400. Now, what matters is from these cases that are reported, if you check on column 3, we check how many dockets were taken to court, how many suspects were arrested. If you check the January to March, you'll see that we reached 50%, which is very good. It's because we do about 3 raids in a week. Sometimes we even go over that to ensure that we arrest the suspect. I hear people, they are complaining and say Orange Farm, they are not working. But if you can be a suspect, you'll understand that we are working. Chairperson, the problem is the cases that are withdrawn before court, that column 4. It's a big problem, because there, it means that the people, they come report cases Friday, come Monday, you find a box full of withdrawal statements. We engaged the NPA, and they said it's within the rights of the complainants, there's not much that we can do. If they don't want to continue the case, we must obtain their statements, other than allowing people to go to Vereeniging Court, which is far from Orange Farm. Some of them, they are struggling, don't even have money to travel there. So those are the number of cases, 211 for 3 months, that were withdrawn by the complainant themselves. And my main worry is when we come to the issues of GBV and the domestic violence there. And what is interesting, at least we don't have any unfounded cases, but we are working hard on column 7 there. Column 7 to ensure that we reduce the cases on hand per investigating officers. If you go, you page again at 8.2, as I said, I'll summarize. You can see there's convictions, although the convictions, the numbers are not so high. But if you look from January to March, you can see there's that little decrease from 11 to 3 to 11, 11 to 15. That shows that there's a little bit of conviction. The problem, which is a concern that we are working hard on, it is 8.4, because the dockets are withdrawn also at court there, which is a problem to us. That includes also the docket on 8.6, as to say what we are having a monitoring tool to check, to make them to account, to explain to us as to if we check if whether the investigating officer are complying with the instructions. Do they make a follow-up on the 212 statements, like drug and drive? Most of the dockets there, you find that is the drug and driving cases and the drugs, because they take long for us to get the 212 statements. Now, when you go to slide number 31, is this 31? Yes. You look at the murder there. Generally, you can see we are not doing good. Although we are not appearing on what you call, on the top 30 for national crime, but 10 is still too much. I mean, we are not doing good. It's 25 cases reported. Out of that, we managed to take only 10 to court. We're supposed to take 50%. That is the area that we need to work out on. Orange Farm is having a lot of murder cases, Chairperson, I must admit, but we really want to appreciate the support of the NGOs for community mobilization, other ICVPS strategy, community safety, every stakeholder that is participating to discourage, especially when you check that the people that are committing those type of murders are youngsters, very young. They call themselves 50s, others they call themselves 40s and so forth, that allegedly emanate from what you call Makulwane initiation schools. And it's affecting also our schools in Orange Farm. I think we got about 4 schools that are directly affected by those type of activities. Okay. So I'm going to jump from murder. Let me go to house robbery, as it was also indicated by one of the community member there. As we can see, 36 is a lot of crime that was reported, and we managed to take only 2 cases to court, which is very, this is the areas that we need to work very, very hard. You look at also at column 8.2, the conviction, we only have 1 guilty, which is very little. So that is the area that still need more attention. Rape cases also, you can see it's a lot of rape cases that are reported, which is 32, and then we only managed to take 17, which in this case we did well. It means we reached 40% of the detection rate, which is good. But the problem is that if you check 8.2, there's no conviction there, which is a worrying factor that you must work on. So in all, slide number 34, murders under investigation, you can see it's a lot. 659 cases that we're investigating. It's a lot, and only 10 taken to court, which is very, very worrying. House robberies there, you can see it's 41 is a lot. As I indicated that we also appear on top 30 of the national crime statute list, and only 2 has taken to court. Rape is 20, at least we managed to take 17 to court there, which is good. And then for quarter 4, is a summary. Can I jump this one? Yes. Okay. All right. Chairperson, we got a 5-year integrated policing plan. As you know that we previously had what you call GGT, growing Gauteng together, for 5 years that ended up in 2024, if not mistaken. So by October last year, then this integrated policing plan was formulated by SAPS, with Civilian Secretariat and the Department of Community Safety, as you can see on slide number 37. This also talks to our integrated crime prevention strategy, which is a whole government approach, whereby it also gave birth to cooperative governance, where we all sit as different government departments and every month and with their work streams, and we discuss crime and all issues of concern or threat for the district or for the stations, and we come up with action plan to address that jointly so, including the NGOs, we invite them to come to that. So that this must be seen as a collective, because crime prevention is about all of us, not only the police. Because people most of the time they ask and say, what is your plan? That is the plan that the government is having. This was approved by the parliament in 2022, but it was implemented from last year, October, as indicated. On slide number 38, you can see those are the streams that we work on in terms of the plan as per cooperative agreement. It's 8 streams to make sure that we got a safer community and stronger partnership, and we believe that together we can make better. So our streams is based on intelligence-led operations, which we are doing that by analyzing the hotspot and do operations. And stream 2 is legal training there, you can see there. Stream 3 is communication. Stream 4 is e-policing. 5, gender-based violence. 6, case flow management. 7, finance facilities. And 8, monitoring and evaluation. So if you look at the slide number 39, 40, 41, and 43, 45, it talks mainly about those 8 streams. And then what we do on the district level, we got those 8 streams that we report to provincial streams, working streams, so that they are focused on the issues, on the subject that is related to them, and to advise the whole committee in terms of operationalizing the information. Can we go to slide number 47? Yeah, those are the interventions by the station in terms of murder, rape, robbery, aggravating, that we conduct multidisciplinary operations as I indicated in terms of ICVPS. That is, we got integrated operations, pillar number 3, to make sure that we combat crime. Slide 48 also talks to the same, to address the issues of hijacking, truck and house robberies. Can we go to slide number 50? Am I too fast? No. All right. All right. There, I'm sure that you heard the Premier when he was talking about the issue of the infrastructure that is damaging the vehicles. But we also want to appreciate the councillors for the assistance. And we see there's a movement already where the roads are being attended to, and the Premier also just indicated that they are working on that to make sure that Orange Farm roads surfaces are better for us not to continue having those challenges. And I see also, as confirmed by Councillor Molefe, they have started also to cut the grasses, which we really appreciate. But we still also have influx of undocumented foreign nationals, which is a cry from the communication chairperson. That's why we increase on operations and we encourage our members to daily arrest the undocumented in our area. Those are the figures that we had for each month up to April. Slide number, it looks like it's slide number 51. That's what I was talking about when okay, the only issue, Chairperson, that is a big problem here, is the issue of the maps in Orange Farm. We don't have proper maps in Orange Farm, but I'm happy that at least the Councillor Molefe confirmed that Ward 4 and Ward 6 street names were approved. So what happens is that when we do what we call pin mapping on the crime, I need to be specific. When I say 365, I must know that it's 365, where exactly 365 is a problem. But now my approach currently, because we don't have a map, I'll just say 365, then I'll approach 365 in a blanket way, which sometimes defeats the purpose of operation. You become not focused because you don't know the exact spot. But if you know that it's 365 at Dlamini Street, then you know that you focus on this time at Dlamini Street, maybe within the radius of 1 kilometer, you patrol that area to cap crime there. But the issue also is the issue of the budget for reblocking, as the Councillor Molefe indicated that they are still talking on that, because of the issue of the budget, they could not approve that in terms of the map.
Is that it, Brigadier?
That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you very much, Brigadier. Indeed, very informative. I think it was about a few months ago when we were in Orange Farm.
Yes.
And you weren't there, you ran away. Were you there? Yes. Were you there? Yes. Okay.
And I was raped.
Yeah. There you were. Now we can see the improvement that has happened since the last time we were here. Member Sun, Member Chawane, any input, any questions? You all right? Member Sun? Everything well. To the community, you were afforded an opportunity by the previous chairperson because of the fact that we understood that she was going to leave, number one. But beside that, because the Premier was here and we knew that he needed to leave. So before we could do the presentation of your station commander that we've just gone through now, we had opened the floor so that the community could participate and to ask the relevant questions whilst the Premier, who is also the MEC for Community Safety, so that he could address your issues that you were raising. I'll take your hand now. Is there anything pertinent to what the commissioner, the station commander has given now that you would like to raise? Can you raise your hand? And please, give me a chance. I'm going to ask that when one person has asked a question or made a statement with regard to an issue, and you are number 3 and that person's number 1, please don't repeat the same thing. Because we have time constraints. I'm here to serve you. We're here to serve you. But it's also your time. And if we're going to hear the same story or the same complaint over and over again, it is not going to, the multiple times that you are repeating the statement does not empower the statement. We need to get to be able to address the issues that you have. Okay, so we're going to do it this way. I'm going to start to my left. No, please put your hands down. Please put your hands down. Thank you. To my left here, let me stand so you can see me. I'm going to start this way. We're going to start here on my left, then we will go here, and then we will go there. Otherwise, we're jumping all over the show. So on this side here, can you raise your hands, those who would like to make a statement? Right. So now you need to listen. Please keep your hand up. Keep your hand up. You number 1, you number 2, sir, and you number 3. Okay? Can you please come forward?
Sanbonan, Chair of the day. Good morning, good afternoon. Translator e tla ba teng a jere. Chair, ai ke tlo utlwa bohloko man. Before ke tlo botsa station commander, ke utlwa bohloko bo sa tsweng madi. Le tla mona le re le tlo thusa Orange Farm. Number 1. This day ha ya tsoa maobane bosiu le re le tla mona Orange Farm ese Gauteng legislature. You planned this thing long time ago. This meeting you know tlameha be ona le provincial commissioner ba tsamaile le premier o tsamaile. Dipotso tse re tlo di botsa ntate Manamela o di tseba each and every day to say ntate Manamela o tlo re fa dikoloi tsa rona neng. Re kopa le mmuso wa Gauteng province se ka nkelang batho ba Orange Farm fatshe. O ka natswa to any organization se ka nkelang batho ba Orange Farm fatshe. La bona batho ntse ba tswa hanyana ha o thusi hore re tlo le botsa dintho tse le di tsebang. Ne re batla premier, ne re batla provincial commissioner le bapala ka rona. Tlohellang ho bapala ka rona. If ho ya ka rona no tlameha be le phutha ntho tsa lona le atswa. Hoba mona di tle o tlo patala catering le bapale ka rona. Number 1, re a tseba hore Orange Farm ha ina dikoloi. Provincial commissioner was supposed to be here. Re buile ka ma CPF. The premier himself a re ha ikarabelle ho yena. Ha re tlo botsa wena o tlo re jwetsa hore ha o tswe national. Dikoloi di ikarabella to national. Ska tlo bapalang ka rona batho ba Modimo. Ha re tla mona hore re boreile kapo re kae. For now ke kopa o submit. Aksana dipotso for lona. We'll take this to the higher parliament. Le bapala ka rona.
Dumela. Abuti ona sa iqetile. Le nyatso le le kalo ko Orange Farm. Re shebile ho thwe ba tla re jwetsa intelligent e sebeditse jwang kanto brigadier a presenta hore intelligent e thotseng ko Orange Farm. Ha ya thola next. Ha rena intelligent ko Orange Farm. Brigadier ha rena dipotso bana ke tlo botsa hore crime e teng ma 50 a teng. Ha una di college tla me re bona le minister wa education mona re tlo mo jwetsa re sokola re tsa di crime tje ha una college ko Orange Farm. That's why re tlo dula re joina ma 50 that's why re tlo etsang ha rena dipotso brigadier mara ba re nyatsitse ke tello ka le Orange Farm ke a lebo.
Sanibonani. uJoseph okaMabaso ya mana isizubhlungu sabantu base Orange Farm ukuthi kuze ilegislator but ilegislator iza ngathi ivithikile ama peace masikhuluma ngecrime asikhulumi ngesubstance nje kuphela sikhuluma ngento eziningi stakeholders eziningi fanele masikhuluma ngecrime wonke umuntu abe ala obhekane nendaba zokuthi how best can we combat the crime. But we are not doing that. Kuza nje subs every time ukhuluma subs. And then subs ayisincedinga nix. Ngoba okokuqala subs asinamaphoyisa la Orange Farm. We don't have police at Orange Farm. Abangakhona ukuthi baqede this crime at Orange Farm. Last time besine meeting lana basitshela ukuthi bafuna ukudowngrade i-Orange Farm because babona ngathi Orange Farm akuyasetshenzwa akusetshenzwa kuyadlala okwenzakala asazi ukuthi wenzakala manje into bengifuna ukuthi ngiyikhulume la ukuthi if sithi sifuna ukuqeda crime let us do siqede ni crime ngokuhlangana ngokubonisana ngokwenza into ezi right ekufanele sizenze thina siyabantu abafuna ukuqeda crime because ushilo u station commander la wathi crime aseyamaphoyisa nje kuphela I'm saying ngivumelana naye it's not subs nje kuphela engaqeda crime. And the worst part, go on, lamaphoyisa sithi now. Banama families agangayo. Nenzani ngale nto leyo. What are you doing ngento ezinjalo ukuthi yazi ngikhumbula kudala. Bowuthi mawujoin isiphoyisa. Bophakamisa isandla uthi mina ngiyiphoyisa abaMabaso. Ngizosebenzela isizwe sabantu abamnyama or ngizoprotect abantu ngokuthi ngizocala ubopha endlini. But lamaphoyisa wethu awabopha endlini. Instead of abopha endlini ba shield abafowabo abantwana babo yonke lento le. Then how best can we prevent crime ngokwenza kanjalo? We cannot prevent crime by doing that. But if si report amaphoyisa ul report kubani phoyisa mawuthi ul report mase ngithi khona manje ngifuna ukureporta u station commander ngimreporta kubani lozo mbopha who fanele ngireporta kubani akukho la si reporta khona wona lamaphoyisa la because the very same police are doing crime. And then besifuna ukuthi masibopha sibophe nalamaphoyisa enza crime because you don't help us. Nikhona la nizosilalela yabona sikhulumile namhlanje lento engikhuluma ukuthi niyazi but nithulile but akunankinga besicela ukuthi next time nize niphelele nonke all the stakeholders ezobe zibhekane necrime like for instance khona masikhuluma ngeyikolo bengizobuza nje ngokuthi umzulu mama ubaba lama kakhuluma ngendaba yama 50s nani nenzani ngalama 50s because we have tried ukuthi kube nabo baba bemizi bathi ba defender lento lezo mabeze police station baletha botsotsi nithi akuna evidence kanda siletha utsotsi nithi akuna evidence and awasiphathe into ezisubhlungu ukuthi kulabo tsotsi lapha sibalethile mawuqeda ukubheka mawubheka le bayakulandela and the very same police bazotshela ukuthi ubani uyokupimpa ukuthi sizokubopha. Then how best can we do this? Okay, thank you. All right.
Young man, were you part of that too?
Sicela ukuthi yonke into
Okay.
eyenzakalayo yenzakale ukuthi ibe transparent
Thank
so
you.
that we know what we do.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be even lesser. Sanibonani bantu abadala. Igama uTankiso Mfokeng. I'm an active citizen in a country as South Africa. Brigadier it's not a question as such, but the submission, ekuwukuthi ngibona ngathi as traditional leaders, nisenzela i-favor in terms of allocating ama-resources for ukuthi si-combat i-crimes ezi-related nama-initiation schools, ezi-related nama-gang violences. Why I am saying this, it is because under the regulatory document, the Customary Initiation Act 2 of 2021, under a cooperative governance and traditional affairs, we are entitled and we are more than obliged to have resources from a police station. So given the stance of our community or Orange Farm not knowing who to communicate to, not knowing which department is relevant to give you that particular resource, we rely on talking to the station command. So that's why I'm saying it's not a question, because he knows that we have initiation related crimes at Orange Farm and we don't have resources. And we are also putting our lives at risk. Similarly, like the patrollers. As traditional leaders, we go and fetch those children from the illegal initiation schools. When you come back later on at your home, these boys will come and knock at your door there, wanting their children because they have commercialized our culture. So what we are saying is that it's a favor when you're supposed to bring on resources to Orange Farm. Nyabo.
Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you. I'm going to limit you to 2 minutes, please. Okay. And can we prevent statements? Let's get to facts, just so that we have order. Please.
Sanibonani. Ninjani? Mina igama lami nguMpho ne. Nginombuzo kahle kahle or angazi uthi suggestion or yini. Amaphoyisa immediately bayayazi indaba yokuthi icrime ikhona ezikoleni. Ngikhulumela abantwana bethu. I came here as umzali. Khona igangsterism ezikolweni. Khona amapanyazas but kuyafana. Abantwana bayangena. For example, iThamsanqa. Immediately when we report that, amaphoyisa afika after 5 hours. There was an incident there eThamsanqa whereby amaphoyisa bewabiziwe, but umphakathi wagcina uthatha umthetho wazenzela wona. Lento leyo thina as i-community angeke sisebenzisane, meanwhile now amaphoyisa awasebenzisani nathi community. Khona manje khona ama 50 fathers and 50 mothers. They are trying their own level best. Bayavuka, those people immediately when you give them a call, uti, I have an incident, gupi gupi, bayabizana. Banawa ama walkie-talkie. They attend fully. But amaphoyisa when you report, they come after 6 hours. Or abanye bazothi imakanjalo siyeza. So, like lento le ngicela nilungiseni kahle kahle. Nangu ubaba Jwanisi ukhuluma indaba yama STG. Amaphoyisa angeke enze umsebenzi wonke. How about ama-MEC nalaba yaku-national? Baphe nawo ama-STG i-chance leyo. Because into eyi-one esihlanganisayo ukulwela i-crime.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ngiphinde ngibengelele futhi mfana kaNtsele okhulumayo ngizoba mncane nje mafishane njengoba nami ngimfishane nje. Okokuqala nje ngibuze i-question azange aphenduleka. Ngibuzile, I did ask about the police, about the events, that if something it happened, we call the police, but the police they don't show up. They come after 36 hours. So people are complaining about 50s, 40s, and what is Pete? The police guy here is on high level. He knows about what's happening, but they are doing nothing. Not that they don't know, they know. And then the next thing you talk about budget, when you read there, you talk about the budget, the road budget, whatever, in Orange Farm. If we can ask about that budget, where does it go? Because we still here in Orange Farm, we've got Krabul Road, Krabul Street, for such a long times. The next thing you come, you're making an excuse with the vans, they can't, the police, we can't drive there, whatever. But where's the budget? Because it's been issued out for several years. Where's that budget? Where's that money? I think they have to follow it and found that man and bring it back to the people. So that maybe we can solve something. And we are asking about these 50s, 40s, that the police people, they can do something. I will tell you one story. Maybe others will get hurt to say this just for 1 minute. The other police guy, one day, I was on my way to town. The guy stopped a bag. They searched that bag. They found a bunch of drugs. So when they found the bunch of drugs, the other guy who was driving the bag, he made a call. And when he made that call, he gave to this police office. And when this police officer answered that call, the voice was from one of the highest police to say, leave that bag to pass, or else your family will be in danger. So now, how come we're going to be safe while the police, I'm not talking about the senior police or whatever, those guys who are sitting there on top, that's the one who promoting crime to the community, to South Africa, to Gauteng. So now I was also asking about Jovicho that when are we going to get a mobile police station maybe, so that it will be easier, because we are getting no services. That's what I was asking. So follow that budget and must come back to the community. Thank you.
Sanbonan, local by Paulina Shabalala from Tirizikwan. Nyabonga, ukuti nami ngizo Paula. Nge problem esinayo la emphakathini. Indaba yamaphoyisa ibhlungu kakhulu. And iphoyisa malevela ngesikhathi sethu silifaki uniform bekune dignity. Belina ne respect, but today because ke bua huduma experience e ke boneng ka mahlo, one day ne ke le sekolong se seng. And then in the rekata o bitsa vene ka la maobane hona le makhelane wa ka my neighbor a kenetse bosibu ba nkile nako ho fitla ditsotsi ba bale ya babele, and then I'm the first person yo shaya mpempe ko strateng mara ba nkile nako ho fitla mara ka la usane the following day vene tsa 22 already saili one. Njalo kuthi amavene ivene i2 bona orange farm ikakang ilatela Soweto oresebile ya ifeta mara na le vene a1 orange farm. That is a painful. How bitsa vene to abanga bana vene ya hotla ba ha o tswa ka ntle o ntse tsamaya mo o ya ba bona ba phekile somewhere ba emile banana ba kentseng dikhetsa ta 2 cm ba ha ba tla vene re le tsietsing ha batle ka sheba vene e ka e bona ka tswa e eme ka ntle hona le two ladies ba kentse dikhetsa tsa 2 cm ba thewa veneng ya maphodisi ka mara ke vene e re emetseng rona bosiu makhelone a kenelwa bona me ementeng ho bohloko ho rona re le mphakati bonkgono ba kenelwa ho kenela everyone bonkgono bana le bana ba tsubo ke rata o le boantate Panyaza una a le teng ka o tsamaile ke sa moleboa batho ke molelekisitse ka ntle ka mohula ka bantši ka ntate ke na le potso e sale o tla nka bana ba orange farm highway ene bana ba tsamaile mfo ba tsubang drugs ba nyaupe ho tsamaile few ya bona the road the most ba setse mahaya ene ba hlopha bonkgono o nkarabile ka ntle ya bobedi ka ke kopela bonkgono di panic button ang kopanya le secretary ya hae a re ke nke di number tsa o tla nsendela yona mo founung hore ke lo thusa ba bang ka yona ke a leboa
sanibonani lo khulumayo Ernest Mia ubaba Ntsumpa iquestion yami ikuye baba Ntsumpa la eOrange Farm sinenkinga yama drugs abantu abathengisa ama drugs bayaziwa bakhona into ya everyday so bengizocela ukuthi ngithi kuwe nabo bonke abakhona enisebenza ngecrime sicela ukuthi makune operation njengoba uwabala ukuthi niyawayenza but siyabona ama-drugs aloku ayaqhubeka ayathengiswa so mawungasithembisa wena nabantu osebenzisana nabo ukuthi mhlawumbe kusuka namhlanje ngoba lento engikhuluma ngayo yenzeka manje bayawathenga ama-drugs ayathengiswa la ngaphandle sicela immediate operation ukuthi masivuka kusasa sithi uNtsumpa hayi usebenzile ama-drugs awasekho la ekhaya.
Sanibona abantu abadala. Igama lami uNkeletso Magoli, ngihlala 7B. Kahle kahle bengingazange ngizokhuluma nabantu abadala bamaphoyisa. Bengize kumphakathi njengoba ngimncane. Like ngihlukumezeke kakhulu abantu abadala. Namanje ngisagijinyiswa ngaphandle for into engayazi. Net for my name. So bengizokucela nina bantu abadala njengoba nikhala ngama-50 40s abafana ababuye entabeni. Why nina ningathathi bona labafana labo nibafake emakhoneni wasemakasweni nigadise bona because bayabazi abantu abazongena ngalapho abazohlukumeza nina abazolanda abazali bethu emizini. Like ngikhuluma lento le izolo kuzama-50 igama lami uNkeletso Magoli ngihlala 7B angilande kithi endlini abangenanga baphelele estradini. Last week bangikwazile emuva bangilisela ukuthi I don't know bathi nginemali ngiyithatha angiyazi ngiyithatha lento le yayizwa abantu abadala. And so mina bengizocela njengani abantu abadala singawafaka amaphoyisa because once wakhichema uye police station labantu laba ngeke bathatha istatement sakho bazokufaka phakathi ngilele 4 days le off for into engayazi wrongful arrest. Umuntu bengikhuzela abangani bami bashaya umuntu omdala and umuntu omdala lo wakhona nyamaza ungithembisa umsebenzi ngabakhuza abangani bami bakhuzeka umuntu omdala loyo yena self ngimthembile alanda iphanga ngamvimba ngikaphala esandleni nongazi uzobona if angithembi nescratch. And so njengoba nireza ama complaint wenu nibangaka nizokasela amaphoyisa angeke asisize buthina sizoyenza ini zibe soya phambili ngizothanda ukuphelela la.
Thank you. Number 1, number 2. That side, can I get your attention? Number 1, number 2, number 3, come forward. No repeat. I'm going to ask you please not to repeat if it's the same thing that was said earlier on. Asseblief.
Sanibonani, ninjani, siyabonga kakhulu ukuthola lethuba esilithola today. Ubusisi waKwaZwane from sector 1 Lakeside. Ngiheda i-public safety under i-office lika Janet Ramafikeng. Ngicela ukuyichaza la angimenywanga la bengingazi ngale program ya today as i-public safety. Bengisejimini njengoba ningibona ngisajima nje namanje. Ngathola imessage kwathiwa hey iportfolio yakho gijima ngikwate kakhulu ngoba iwo 2 ayikho futhi la adla nabantu bama-drugs. Angazi noma yaphenywa, angazi noma niyawabhema nani lama-drugs na. Kuma-Pakistan, Baba Manamela, amaphoyisa akho ayakoleka kuma-Pakistan. Amaphoyisa ayakoleka. Mawuthi bahambe bayenze operation, bayenze operation. Bangene kuma-Pakistani, bathathe lawo ma-drugs, babuye bayothengisela abantu bama-drugs i-chain. Awalethwe police station lama-drugs. And then kule ndaba yamakulwane lo ikhulumile Baba Manamela futhi uthe 4 schools abasebenza ngamakulwane. Baba, ku-primary sekunamakulwane. Kuma-primary schools sekunamakulwane. Akukho ku-high schools kuphela.
Ma'am, are you near finish yet?
Kokunye nayi very important engifuna ukuyikhuluma. Kunama-department sengisho ku-legislature cause amaphoyisa awanginiki le mpendulo. Njalo kuhlale kubanjwe meeting, mara le answer ngingayitholi till today. Kunama-department ngama-department. Kune-department yini le, scrapyard, Pakistan, amashopu, nani. Iyiphi department, why i-department yama-drugs ingekho? Kuloku kukoleka amaphoyisa kumalone kulabantu abathengisa ama-drugs. Besicela ukuthi kube ne-department yabantu special abadila ngama-drugs.
Thank you.
Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani. Ninjani? Lo okhulumayo ugcinile wakasithole from Ward 2 Lakeside. Okuningi sebakukhulumile ngeke ngikuphinda-phinde. Mina bengicela ukuthi indaba yama-panic button abantu bayithole. Ngoba ama-panic button asebantwini abantu abangasizi ngalutho abahlele ezindlini. Bengicela futhi okunye nis-assiste ngendaba ngicabanga ukuthi e-police station kunama-group chat assistayo enza ukuthi amaphoyisa sikhona ukwathola fast. Kunabantu aba-wrong futhi lapho. Umuntu o-report ehlele endlini ayihlelele angaye esinini makunesini wena usesinini ungazi ukuthi kumele wenze njani. Kodwa yena fona amaphoyisa akhona ukufika thina masifona awafiki.
they will respond. La bona maphodisa a tshwarana ka bona these days. So there's progress in that respect. Station Command, the main issue more, of which I think Honorable Moody, I know that is it in the El Dorado area? There used to be, there's a task team that solely focuses on drugs. Do we have the same task team here? I think that is one thing that we should prioritize within the department, working to setting up township, especially in the townships, drugs are a problem. And I know that we did prioritize mostly historically colored communities at the time, but it's very clear that Orange Farm is also one of those areas. It needs a task team that focuses solely on drug apprehension, drugs combating. The issue of cars. You know, I've been to government garage before. There are many cars. There are many cars. They're just sitting there. When you look at them on a Moody, you realize that it doesn't take a lot to fix it. For some odd reason, I think part of our oversight, let's go there and go check at the state of vehicles that are there, that should really, a station like Orange Farm have one van or two. I don't know how many vans you said you have. I might have missed it. But the area is too big to have few cars, because that's where the problem is. So as part of our expansion in oversight, let's go to government garage and see these vehicles so that we can monitor and push that some of them should be fixed. Because some of them, if you look at them closely, it's minor things. They don't require the vehicles to be parked. But Engwentong is a problem, as well as is police taking cars home. That on its own is also part of it. I know maybe you are saving petrol, whatever reason, or for security purposes, you are dropping each other. But the minute the vehicle goes out of the jurisdiction, and then there's a problem, for it to come back, it causes the delay. So we really need to look at that aspect, that we should reduce that. Issue of gangsterism, gangsters are our children. We must be honest. We need. But the 50s, 40s, whatever, but na go ntlutsa rona. And re a tseba hore bana ba rona wa mona ngwana ha hore wo setse le tsotsi o. And you don't report him. Ha batluwa ko wena motho mathomo mo protect. Ha tswere ko wena motho mathomo mata up and down nya ka re atole bail. Meanwhile, you know this child of mine is a terrorist in the community. So le rona as the community, as parents, we must be honest. As much as they don't know anymore, maphodisa ba ra bona ke di criminal. Le rona in our own houses, we have those criminals and we are protecting them. So let's stop that aspect. Re sebedisa le maphodisa. Ha ngwana wa le stout. E ba wena wa mathomo. O bontsha re go nyaka lokisa ngwana. Thupa so senya. Asu bolaya. Spare the road, spoil the road, spoil the child. I get le shape bana, you know it's a fella. Ka re ba tlo tshwara lona. But all I'm saying is, ha re dlaleng part ya rona, because these kids who do all these wrong things, ba nna go ntlong tsa rona, and we protect them and we harbor them, but ba lematsa batho ka ntle. Up until hu lemala wena, then when you realize, but this thing is wrong. The young man who came here, it's quite unfortunate. Station Command, look into his case. The other issue that is worrying me, Honorable Moody Edson, is the number of open cases. That thing creates despondency. It reduces confidence of the public in the police. That's why Kabula case, because you can't sit with 1,700 or so open cases. And then you look at the convictions and also the courts. It's something that we must also take up as a committee. You can't return 820 dockets, 820 cases returned from court to say there's insufficient evidence and not support. That's 820 victims that are sitting, if not more. So that on its own, the NPA, we need to also start having we must have an engagement with them as well to say, but it can't be that you have so many cases that are returned. For a parent or a citizen to go and open a case against Muto it takes courage. It takes courage. Then the next thing, they don't get help. Now they start being victimized. No more ngayong bophisa ngizobuya next week ngizokubonisa. So nobody now abantu abasafuna ukuvula ama case because they are fearing for their lives. So we need to be clear. The number of cases, Station Command, I'm not happy about. I really feel that you can do much more to make sure that all these cases are resolved. In fact, when we do another public meeting or oversight and follow up, we need to know how much you have pushed. Initiation schools, hey, ke problem. You know, the time it's a problem. Makolwana ke mathata. Because ba fitla skolong ba ipitsa banna ya no. Asa mamela mistress, asa mamela teacher, asa mamela anyone. And they've also become, initiation schools are also now areas where they recruit gangsters. That's the recruitment area for gangsters. So part of it, within COCTA, we need to start having proper discussion with these traditional leaders or those who head these initiation schools. But overall, the STT, I appreciate, or STT, ke STT, ne? Yeah, ke NGO. I'm happy that you are wanting to do work in our schools, in our communities. You know, voluntarism is very difficult work. It's very difficult work. But when you start it, for example, if you enter school, there's no money there in schools. Don't assume SGPs have money. There's no money. I always all the time. It's voluntary work to support our communities. That is what now I appreciate the most that you are doing. But the minute you start focusing on money, you are going to miss your own objective as an NGO. Focus on servicing our people, help will come. There's this NGO called Gift of the Givers. I'm sure it's fair. That NGO started on their own assisting people. People came forward, companies came forward, because these people are actually doing something for our people. Why don't we go and assist? And they're working outside government. People are just assisting because they know what they're doing. So Lilona, that is the path that I would advise you to undertake more than anything. That as you work, I can tell you now, there is somebody who's watching who will work with you and say, we can see the difference that you are making in this children's life. We can see the difference that you are doing in this community. In that way, your own organization will begin to grow. But no, give us money now before we work. It's going to be quite difficult. I'm certain. You saw the budget. 81% is salaries. 81% is salaries. 19% is for everything else. And 19% is literally nothing compared to the challenges that are facing the communities. Now, let me stop there, Honorable Moody.
Brigadier. Thank you, Chair. I'm not going to repeat what Honorable Shilwan said, but I took note of all the concerns that were raised by the community. I must assure you that we're not just folding our arms. We try everything within our means with the limited resources that we got to ensure that the service delivery. Like I admitted that to the chairperson that last time when they came, we were very, very red as Orange Farm. Now the picture has changed, but one cannot shy away to say we don't have challenges. But the main thing that I just heard from the community chair is the first thing is the time reaction, that the police take long to attend to the scenes, which need me to look into it, but I can assure you that every Monday or 3 times a week, we sit in the what you call Station Crime Combating Forum, and we look also into the issues of time reaction. But I believe that every case must be dealt on its merit. Yeah, there might be 1 out of 10 that is wrong, that we must correct the behavior of the member. But it doesn't mean that every time they delay, they are wrong. But we need to check what was the reason for the delay. That's very much important. But remember, 2 wrongs does not make any right. We are all complaining about crime, and we acknowledge as the police that we need your assistance. But that doesn't mean that you must take the law in your own hands. Because most of the cases that we lose at court is because the procedure was not followed. And that becomes a problem. And when we explain to you as the community, you think the police are making it difficult for you. It's not about us. It's about what the law says. Somebody was saying, I don't answer the phones. I try by all means to answer the phones. If I see a missed call, I come back to you or WhatsApp. Like now, I was talking to some on the WhatsApp, they are phoning me. So I always appeal, chairperson, to the community to say, don't send me a voice clip, send me a text message. Because when I'm sitting here and there's a situation that needs an urgent attention, you don't get assistance, I can always direct somebody to phone you or to make sure that they attend to your complaints, because you are important to me as a client. But we must also acknowledge that I'm also a human being. I must sleep, I must have time for the family, I must go to church. We agree on that, ne? I'm a human being too. So I need to sleep so that I can be fit to come to work. So, but let's communicate so that we address those issues. The issue of the drugs, we are having a lot. I'm sure Orange Farm is the only station that is having a high rate of arrest on the drugs in the whole city. We are arresting an average of about 80 per month for the drugs alone. No, I'm telling you from the facts. I'm not telling you something that I'm thumb-sucking. Right. And what is interesting, I saw also on the statistic that was released that in terms of recovery of firearms, nationally, we are number 30. Although we dropped with only 4 firearms in terms of our own target. That shows that the members are working. We do not have a special group for the drugs chairperson, but we make it a priority. That's why we encourage the community to continue communicating with us so that we can arrest. But it's not only just about arrest, it's also about supporting our arrest with your statements so that we win the cases at court. I'm standing with pride, here with pride, to say for the last quarter, 3 quarters, we had 4 claims for informers, about 56,000 that was paid, or that is processed to be paid, which is encouraging, is to show that there are community members that are communicating with us. Because without you, we cannot win the crime. We need all the community members, the NGOs. Register your NGOs. If you say you want to be an NGO, make sure that you are a legal entity. Register so that you are recognized. And work within your rules. Let the police do what they're supposed to do, but cooperate with the police. In terms of the vehicles, I think I said we got about 28 vehicles for crime prevention. Chairperson, people don't understand how the system works. The police, they don't only just run on the street for drugs alone. There's a lot of functions that I must do. We got different activities within the police station. If you come there, you check at the CSC, there's what you call performance, delivery chart, what do you call it? The one that talks about the services that we put in the CSC? Service delivery chart, I want that word, yeah. Service delivery chart. When it tells you about what the services are we rendering there. And every component need equipment to operate. There's no way that it cannot operate without having proper equipment, whether in the form of vehicles or whatever. So, like that Honorable Shilwan was saying, we all work with the budget, all of us. We don't have limitless budget, we got budget. And we have seen also on the media that if I don't comply with PFMA, I can also be charged. So that's why we need you to come, so that that's why we do mobilization, education, so that you understand how we operate. But when it comes to the issues of corrupt police officers, there's no mercy there. There's a very simple way to rectify that. Give a statement under oath. Like yourself, when you are arrested or a family member is arrested, stop calling me for favor. Stop calling me, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm a police officer. You go to court and you answer for what is alleged against you. There are people who are calling me and saying, Tate Malamel, do us a favor. Hey, ngwanako ha utswere, hey, ntate utswere. What must I do? If you commit crime or she commit crime, she must be arrested. And with domestic violence, I want to appeal again. Bomme, tloelang withdraw the docket before Monday. Because next time after the assault is a murder. And there are also males here that have been assaulted by the females. It's not a joke. Gone are those days that when a sentate, you'll shy from reporting. You must report the crime. Even when it's a lady, we arrest the lady. And the other thing that I want to make an appeal here, stop hiding the illegal immigrants in your own houses. Because you are creating a problem for me. Because when those people commit crime, it's difficult for us to trace them. You go, chairperson, to most of the houses in the big rooms there, you'll see that there's a lot of undocumented people that are renting in their own houses. Let's stop that. So let's work together. That's why we work together with Home Affairs to ensure that we address that. The issues of burglaries, as I mentioned, is a problem, and I admit it's a problem, and we are emphasizing on the members also operationalizing that so that we ensure that we prevent that from happening, because we don't want anyone to be a victim of crime. But we must admit that as the police, we cannot do that alone. We need to. But when you want to participate and become a part of the CPF, you must come so that we can check if you are in good standing. We can't work with criminals. Unfortunately, there are people that I chased away. I told them straight, I can't work with criminals. Because two wrongs does not make any right. A criminal belongs to prison. I don't want to comment much, Chairperson, on the guy who just mentioned that you were arrested. If you are arrested, you must solve your own problems. You must get a lawyer. This is not the right platform for you to complain. Chairperson, I've noted all what Honorable Shilwane said, and we'll look into that in terms of column 7. That was what you were saying, to say we got a lot of cases on hand. And we must always remember, there's what we call in management staff turnover. People, they die, people, they get promoted, people, they go on pension. You can't have the same workforce all the time. So those are some of the contributing factors in a working environment. And when we allocate resources are allocated in terms of what you call fixed establishment. It's a document that has been formulated after the study was done to say, when you are at 75%, you are having reasonable resources to operate. It doesn't mean that you got 100%, no. I'm sure you heard when I read the figures here, they justify what fixed establishment is saying. But I must admit, Orange Farm is growing and is bigger and bigger. It needs more resources. Thank you, God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Can we give the station commander a round of applause, please? It is not easy to be a police officer. It is not easy to be a teacher. It is not easy to be a servant serving the community overall. The needs are greater than what your person has to be able to meet them. But we strive. We are here to try and make that difference. But together, as the station commander said, together we can achieve more. Let us work together and let us make Orange Farm a better place. In conclusion, those of you who have got these gadgets, translation gadgets, please hand it back in. There's a tracking device inside that gadget. So if you're going to take it away from here, we're going to be able to come and fetch you. because we'll fetch it from your home. And we don't want that, okay? So please hand it back. And then lunch will be served to you. Please stay in the hall. Please stay in the hall so that we have it organized and so on. Lunch will be served for you. Can the officials please meet with me at the back here, please, so that we can just convene a debriefing session quickly. Okay, the meeting has ended. Thank you so much for your participation. God bless and have a great weekend.